Hi, this is Joy Robertson. As many of you know, I love food. I love finding new restaurants. I love trying new dishes. And most of all, I love talking to the many great restaurateurs and entrepreneurs we have here in the Ozarks and beyond. I love hearing their stories, and that's what this podcast is all about, learning more about them and their journey. So join me as we savor the Ozarks. This episode is brought to you by Arctic Food Equipment. I am sitting in a place that's one of my favorite spots in all of the Ozarks, and a very, very popular place for Mexican food, Señor Julian on Battlefield, and I am with Nelson and Edson Villela. You've had this restaurant how long? This has been a sensation in Springfield. When did it open?
It opened on December 2nd, 2 years ago. So we actually live over 2 years and a few weeks.
December 2nd of 2022, we opened the restaurant. We opened our doors. So.
Yeah.
Okay, by the way, you guys look a lot alike. And if you look at them and say, are you guys twins? The answer is yes. Who's older by 5 minutes?
Edson is. Edson's
okay.
5 minutes older than me.
Okay, so Edson, you're the elder statesman here, I guess. Talk about how your family, your heritage is it eastern part of Mexico? Is that correct? Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's our flavor and our seasoning, our heritage comes from the northeast part of Mexico. We're considered the northern the country part of Mexico, western, hats, all that. So we bring absolutely something new to the area, the 417, our staple, the homemade flour tortillas. We introduced that to the 417 community. Asado de puerco, and along with other dishes, but the way we cook the rice or beans, everything has to do regarding that specific area of the country of Mexico.
Edson, you jumped right in there with that answer, which I love. So you're obviously very proud of your heritage. Were you actually born in this country, or did your family migrate here after you were born? Or tell me about that.
Yeah, we're actually migrated here when we were 9. So we lived some in Mexico, and then now the majority of our lives here in the United States, in the Boothill, actually, in Kennett, Missouri. So we consider ourselves Missourians. We lived here all of our life. We, through school migrated a little bit more to Arkansas, and then I even went to Wisconsin for 1 semester of school. But yeah, I think we will consider ourselves as Missourians. Like I said, we lived there and then lived here, some here.
Wow, Kennett, Missouri, Sheryl Crow country. I'm sure you probably knew that.
Absolutely.
What actually brought you to Springfield? Was it school?
It was a little bit of everything, kind of like all the domino effect. First it was Brenda and then Edson, and then lastly myself. And then eventually our parents, but we always had the idea of opening our own business, own restaurant in the back burner. We've been doing this for so long. So once we all got together, we just decided to take off with it,
How many family members altogether?
We have 5. Of course, we're growing. Nelson's married. I'm married. I have a child, and he has 2 kiddos, which are twins, by the way. We are twins, and then he has 2 twins. But yeah, it's growing. But the family, it's mom, dad, my sister Brenda, and then me and Nelson. Mm-hmm.
Is it kind of a family affair with the restaurant, too? But which, by the way, is named for your father, correct, Nelson?
Correct. Yeah, we named the restaurant after my dad. And yeah, it's all a 5-way ownership. And we all pretty much put our ideas together when it comes into a restaurant.
I'm trying to remember if I've run into any other family members. I'd love to meet them at some point. But when I come in here, I always see you. And I now am wondering all the times that I've been in here, am I looking at Nelson or am I looking at Edson? I will remember now. But I guess I just thought I was seeing the one guy, and he's everywhere. But there's 2 of you.
Yeah, usually you could tell by the glasses. I kind of messed it up because I used to have clear glasses. So people are like, oh, Nelson is the guy with the clear glasses. But now I have darker glasses. But mine are always round, and Edson is always square. And he wears hats for the majority of the time. I don't like hats so much, but that's a good way to identify who's who.
Ah, gotcha. Very good. Did you always kind of have a culinary background, or did you just eat really well as kids, or how did you really decide you wanted to get into the culinary world, the hospitality world?
I think a bit of both. We obviously love to eat. We love good Mexican food, good food overall. But it's mainly heritage from my dad. Excuse me. His family had always had a food business. My grandpa owned a butcher shop. My dad sold tacos in Mexico. From my mom's side of the family, my grandpa always knew how to cook. He actually traveled a lot through a job he had in Mexico with American companies, and learned how to do turkey and stuffing, biscuits and gravy and ham. And then that kind of was brought to his home as my mom grew up. And then both my mom and my dad, both cooked very well, very good. Yes. And they both really enjoy it. So, believe it or not, sometimes at home, mom makes the cooking and, does it for dad because dad, cooks all the time. So it's a mixture of both, I would say. Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like you really embraced that food, and you decided you wanted to sort of bring it to the people here in the 417, and you've been incredibly well received. But you actually worked at a couple of restaurants around town. When did the light bulb go off when you said, you know what, let's do our own place? Whose idea was that? Was it a group effort or?
No, yeah, I would say it was. It was probably.
I think
three.
It was a lifelong dream.
Yeah.
I think we knew we wanted to own our own restaurant. I think
like right out of high school, maybe.
High school, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. We've been, as a family, we have more than 70 years of experience with dad, mom, Nelson, Brenda, all together. But I think, and Nelson will agree with me, I think COVID had a big part in life overall with the world and in us. That's when you sit down and you kind of thought about life, like, okay, like, where am I heading, or
what am I doing?
Legacy, etc., and you saw a lot of family members or friends who departed the world, and you're like, let's go for it. Let's do the lifelong dream that we had. We all united as a family. We came up with ideas. Financially, we put all our money together, and then it took off. Yeah, we worked in other places in the 417 restaurants, but we had our core and our values and our beliefs way before we even reached Springfield.
Mm-hmm. Something about COVID did make a lot of us reevaluate a little bit and think, there's only so much time in this world. A lot of us lost friends and family members, and it was scary, and it can be scary. And you think, this is not a dress rehearsal. It's time to do this. Nelson, was your dad surprised when you named the restaurant after him?
No, it actually took a while. Everybody had their own ideas. Again, we'd take every decision, discuss it as a family, and we were getting into like, how we name it? We should name it this. We should name it that. And I believe it was either me or Brenda. I'm not sure. It's like, why don't we name it after that? In which that was an option as well, but we were like, well, let's send it out, and sure enough, the whole idea of Señor Julian, the colors, the painting, the service, the food, everything has an identity of our family and our dad, and it's, to honor him and my mom for the hard work.
This place started and is still in this sort of a small strip mall here right at Battlefield and 65. Great location, very busy. It was a small space to start with, which frankly, nobody minded that. Everybody was willing to wait either on the bench or outside on the bench or in their car to get the good food. Mm-hmm. But it has expanded now. Mm-hmm. And the expansion hasn't been... How long? When did you expand? Did you just knock the wall down and go for it? When did that happen?
So we started construction, May? Mm-hmm. Last week of May. Grindstone Construction is the one who we decided to go with, and they did everything they needed to do on this side to get it ready to where within 2 weeks they can just cut down technically the walls and then merge the whole units into one. So we did it. It took about a month and a half, maybe two.
7 weeks.
6, 7 weeks, yeah. So eventually we got new furniture, hand carved and painted for us, specifically for our restaurant. And then we did research on what we wanted and the style we wanted to make sure that we bring comfort and something different to the 417.
So talk about your decor. It's very bright. It's very artistic. It definitely has the colors that you would associate with Mexico. Talk about your furniture, your paintings on the wall, things like that.
Yeah, actually, our paintings were brought to life by a local artist, Jorge Ortiz. We reached out to him and we told him, hey, this is our vision. He painted a few of them that were his fully by his creation, his imagination. But yeah, we brought in what we wanted. We wanted to bring something new, which was the alebrijes, which are spirit animals, spirit guides that on the pre-Hispanic culture, the natives believe that they will guide you through the underworld. Death and afterlife is very strong in the Mexican culture. So we wanted to bring that new. It's not just only cactuses and guys with hats and all that. It's something new. It's a little more modern, but it's a little casual. So we we brought those colors to the 417 along with the nice room, the furniture as well. We, like Nelson was mentioning, we hand-picked, hand-designed. It was handmade, painted by us, brought, and then imported from the country to the United States to bring that natural and original feeling of being in Mexico in a nice restaurant. So,
well, you nailed it. It just looks great. And now, regarding the paintings, though, did you say that was a local artist from here in Springfield?
Correct. His name is Jorge Ortiz, and he has a gallery. Is it a Republic Road, I believe? Yeah, but he focuses on just like colorful, positive. That's the way I take it. But yeah, all his paintings are great. And like Edson was saying, with the paintings and the alebrijes, we try to focus on the positivity of the Mexican culture, Around town, I feel like, we have a lot of like Day of the Dead, in which that's also our culture, but we want to bring the positivity of our culture, like the food, the colorfulness, and some different like the alebrijes.
One thing every restaurant owner knows is that you can't run a restaurant without ice. Hi, this is Nathan with Arctic Food Equipment. Now is the time to schedule your seasonal preventative maintenance for all of your equipment and HVAC systems. Whether it's a stove, refrigerator, or ice machine, they all break down at the worst possible times. And believe me, you don't want to be out of ice with a packed house. At Arctic Food Equipment, we specialize in finding problems before they occur, saving you downtime and money, plus the stress of dealing with the problem. Call us at Arctic Food Equipment today.
At Arctic Food Equipment, your success is our business always.
Talk about the food. The food is incredible. It's authentic Mexican. Tell me what you brought to the table. Describe your food.
Well, I would say something different, like being so close to the U.S. or Texas. We have the culture exchange where we can mix both of the cultures, like, for example, we have the fajita baked potato, that's a spud with fajita meat covering queso. Another thing is the tacos especiales. That's how we eat our street tacos in Mexico. That's how we eat them, with the slice of avocado, cilantro, Mexican cheese, and it could be a steak or chicken, but on a corn tortilla. And then lastly, nachos. We eat a lot of nachos over there as well too. So that's where the whole creation of the trash can nachos came from, just some different.
The trash can nachos, that's a spectacle, and it's delicious. I was looking through your social media, which, by the way, you guys are great at your social media. Those of you listening right now, check out their Facebook page, Instagram. You guys have, it looks like a fun place, and I think you've nailed it. You did mention your favorite dishes. One of you likes tacos, one of you likes the tilapia. Which is which? I
like the tilapia. I'm a big, we're from the coast, Gulf of Mexico, so I really enjoy seafood, and tilapia, anything like shrimp, shrimp cocktail, I really like,
Okay, so it's you that likes the tacos.
Absolutely. I'm a carnivore. Seafood still, but carnivore, steaks, the potato, the nachos. But, excuse me, the simplicity of 4 tacos with steak, grilled onions, Mexican cheese, which is a cotija cheese, a slice of avocado. And like I said in the video that day, it has to be paired with our salsas, the green or the red, or both. I put both of them. It's so satisfying, so full of flavor. It honestly transports me back to Tampico, where we're from, eating on the street, enjoying those tacos. And honestly, it's one of our top sellers. Like Nelson was saying, that the items are very familiar to Señor Julian in origin of the country, which is the fajita baked potato, tacos especiales, the menudo, the pozole, all those things that we made, asado de puerco, which is one of our top sellers, really bring together the new items that we brought to Springfield, and like those tacos. Like going back to the subject, those tacos are simple but packed with a lot of flavor.
Thank you for the pozole, by the way. I'm a huge fan of pozole. It's just so good. What about your queso? Talk about some of the extras that you put a lot of effort into, things like your homemade guacamole. Talk about that. How'd you come up with those recipes?
So the homemade guacamole, it's something along the side with like your table side guacamole. It's made to order. We make both of our guacamoles fresh, but the Julian's guac, it's pretty much made to order. And just some people, we just want to bring something to the table different to where people have more options in guacamole. Our guacamole, or I guess regular guacamole, it's more creamy, and the Julian's guac is a little bit more chunky. It's more like square, and then also has the freshness of the queso fresco on top with the flour tortillas. Is completely different. It's different, but also it's a guacamole. It's really good.
Do you guys make your own chips?
Mm-hmm. Every day. Yep. Every day we get here and we make fresh batch of chips daily.
No wonder it's so good. What is it? The cheese dip, the queso fundido. Is that the one? Tell me about that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Again, Northeast Mexico, we like to grill everything: fish, shrimp, cheese, anything you can put on a grilled on a cookout. Monterrey is huge; is the capital of Mexico in cookouts, like the grilling out. And we're very close to Monterrey, so that it spurges over to the other areas, so everybody's used to grilling out. The queso fundido, it's a lot of cheese that we put in. You have a topping of steak or chorizo, which I love our chorizo. That does a great job with the chorizo. And then what better way to accompany it than the homemade flour tortillas? Mm-hmm. You get bubbling hot cheese with a good protein, and it's pretty generous. Mm-hmm. The good amount of tortillas. You make you a taco and eat it. It's something you have to experience. It's hard to put into words, but the flavor of the chorizo and the steak, the creaminess of the cheese, as long with the stringiness of the cheese, then that puffy, warm tortilla, it just melts in your mouth. And another top seller items. Not to say it was one of my favorites as well.
That's one of those that you set down because they're going to want to shoot a little video of it bubbly. They bring it out in the little hot skillet. It's just so good. Okay, let's talk about your margaritas. Margaritas are fantastic. I'm a big fan of the spicy one, but I'm sure they're all fantastic. You even do margarita flights. How do you come up with your flavors?
Absolutely. Well, again, we want to bring something different to Springfield. We just didn't want to be another Mexican restaurant. So we decided to bring every flavor we can think of to where it's something different and provide those options to our customers in the 417 to be more adventurous. Yeah, more adventurous, and to have a full experience.
So you've come up with a couple of new ones. Am I making this up? A black margarita? It's called the black margarita. What's that one all about? I haven't had it, but I'm going to. Tell me about it.
Well, it's a very fruity, very good margarita that we all came up with. It's something new. Like I said, Nelson said, we wanted to bring flavors that they're not usual. It has black liqueur, a little other, items, blackberry. People love it with the nice blackberry flavor with the lime. And then we have a lot of other options that people can choose from. Like Nelson said, we didn't want it to have the typical margaritas. We wanted to have options for people who, I don't handle tequila well. I don't like this. I don't like that. They're too sweet, et cetera, et cetera. So we have a gin margarita. We have a vodka margarita. We have a mezcal margarita. And then currently Nelson and I and Brenda are working on a few other options that are, customer friendly, that every time we put something together, it's well received and it stays as a thing that we move regularly, that we have for our customers. There's people that just come here for the gin margarita. I don't go anywhere else, and I just drink gin margarita because it's absolutely amazing. Our skinny margaritas, like you mentioned, are spicy. It's probably one of the top seller margaritas, if not number one or number two. People love how it tastes with the lime, with a nice touch of spice. Not too much, not overpowering. It's nice and present there. So
that tahini around the rim I mean, it's just magical. That's one of my favorite things. Talk about the tequila. Now, if you want a nice shot of tequila or just a tequila sip on, you guys have some top shelf happening in here. Who oversees that?
We all see everything, like I said, he said, we all take decisions. I have ideas. Hey, I like to bring this in, and then Brenda and I sit down and, what kind of tequila is it, yada, yada, we bring the research behind of why we want to bring it in. Yeah, we have over 27 brands of tequila on the wall. We have from $95 a shot to $7.99 a shot, whatever the person wants to spend. A bit for everything. You like a woodier flavor, you like a smoother, I want a cocktail made with it. So it's one of the things that people really enjoy when they come in. It's like, oh, you have so many selections of tequila, And not only tequila, we also have mezcal, a very long or, expanded selection of mezcal, rum as well as vodka. And gin as well. We have different options for everybody. And not to mention whiskey. We like our whiskey, so...
Man, I didn't even, I have the go-to that I go to, the spicy one, and I haven't looked at the menu as close, but I am impressed with that, people who don't necessarily do tequila. Real quick, I want to talk about the cantarito. You have these clay mugs, I guess you'd call it a mug, a cup, I don't know. These are lovely, and I've seen on your social that some of your drinks, is a cantarito actually a drink, or is it the glass that it's served in?
It's the actual glass, but it's also a drink. Like someone could say, hey, can you guys make us a cantarito? And we will make the drink, but hey, can I buy a cantarito? It's the actual glass itself, the proper name, cantarito.
And do I have this right that these keep the drink colder longer or some such thing? And you get these brought in from Mexico, correct? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we get those. We got some custom made, hand painted, brought them from Mexico with our name and our logo. So yeah, they're nice. They're very nice.
So you can buy one to take home, or you can even get yourself a drink in one if you want.
Absolutely, and that's what happens a lot of the times. They're like, hey, make me cantarito or michelada, whatever, and we'll serve the drink. And they're like, hey, I really enjoy that cup. And then tell me more about it. Like, they're wanting to know. And hey, we bring them from Mexico. They're specially made to us. The one you have right now, like I mentioned, we only have so many of them, so it's exclusive. Mm-hmm. But it keeps the drink colder. It's clay. Mm-hmm. It makes the margarita not to be watered down so quickly, and the beer stays nice and cold in the michelada. So they have been very, very popular, and absolutely people love them on social media.
And they are beautiful. Real quick, talk about your customers. The 417 loves you. Mm-hmm. I mean, I haven't been in here before ever that either we haven't celebrated a birthday or someone has, and out comes the sombrero. Mm-hmm. Everybody's having a good time. Your customers mean a lot to you.
We do. We take joy and pride. We tell our staff that, treat them like they want to be treated when they go to a restaurant. We want to make sure they're welcome there. When you come to a restaurant, we want to make sure we would take care of you to where you forget about your problems. You're just here to enjoy the time, enjoy good food, and be taken care of. And that's our number one priority with our service, our top-notch service. We always tell our guys, our crew, employees, we always tell them to make sure you go 110% for everybody, just because we love our customers. We love our support. We want to make sure they leave here happy and always feel like they're welcome, because we truly mean that. We appreciate their business, and we appreciate them. They have many options in Springfield to choose from, but they decided to come to a restaurant, and we appreciate that. So we're going to try our best on our end to make sure they leave happy, they leave full, and they always want to come back.
Well, your staff is wonderful. Everybody that I've ever interacted with here has been fantastic. Edson, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, and our staff, all of them, from the bussers to the hostess to the servers to me and Nelson in management, we do really care. And obviously, we're not perfect. We'll have our days off, off days, we're not. We made mistakes, but honestly, if we did drop the ball on something, and I would like to tell the space to for our customers that are listening, let us know. Hey, I didn't like this food. You're not going to hurt her feelings. Like Nelson said, you have over 30 plus restaurants in Springfield, Mexican restaurants, and you chose to dine with us. We really do care. And that comes from my dad, from my mom, and Brenda and Nelson. We really do care. It is a small family business. Many people say, is this your second one, your third one? No, this is our only one, We put so much love behind it that we really do care to make sure that your drink tastes good, that your food tastes good. If you're not having good service, if you don't like your server, whatever, let us know. We want you to have a good time, be happy, and like you mentioned before, when the sombrero comes out and people come and celebrate their birthdays or getting married or engagement or something, and then everybody gets together, enjoy your food. It's and you've seen it. Everybody gets in the celebration. This room and the next room, everybody's like, "Whoa, happy birthday!" Everybody's clapping, having a great time, and that's what we love. We love seeing people happy and enjoy Señor Julian for what it is. Family business that's here to serve the 417 community the best that we can. So.
As I was being seated, probably a little over a week ago, somebody right over here was celebrating their birthday, and I sang happy birthday the whole way to my seat. Don't know who you were, but I hope you had a great one. But it's a happy place. It's always celebratory in here, and so much of it is you two. And greeting people and your staff, and everybody's, just so kind and welcoming, and the food never disappoints. So Nelson and Edson Villela of Señor Julian, keep on keeping on, you guys. And thank you so much for spending time with me and sharing a few minutes to talk to me for Savor the Ozarks.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Again, you're always welcome, and thank you for doing this. It's always a pleasure letting people know our story and who we are, and, for them to get to know us a little bit more.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, and come give us a try. Get to know us. There's a lot of different flavors. We have the traditionals from chimichangas, enchiladas, to things that are 100% authentic, like tripe tacos, cow tongue tacos, menudo, asado de puerco. So, come enjoy a nice, happy place, and thank you for the space. We're very grateful to the 417 community for the love and support shown in these 2 years. It's honestly incredible and very humbling.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Be sure to go to AroundTheOzarks.com to sign up for our daily newsletter, where you can get every episode of Savor the Ozarks, plus all our other podcasts, events, and contests straight to your inbox. And what are your favorite dishes in the 417? You have any restaurants you'd like me to visit? Email me at joy@AroundTheOzarks.com.